In this video, we will going to set up the in-app purchase script in the Unity project. We will also going to test it on the Android and the iOS device, basically how the in-app purchase works. To set up the in-app purchase inside the Unity project, we need to first create an empty game object in the hierarchy and call it as the IAP, reset the transform, and then go to Tools, Mobile Monetization Pro Integration Tool. Select the integration to be the in-app purchase, and as in the previous tutorial, we already download the in-app purchase from the package manager. Now we just need to import the required scripts. Just click on it and import it. So after importing the scripts, we can just close this window, and here go to the project Mobile Monetization Pro tools, and here you will going to find the Mobile Monetization IAP manager. Just click on the script and then drag and drop this IAP manager script over here. Once done, we can here now set up the consumable item, non-consumable item, and the subscription item for both the Google Play and the App Store. Here, especially for the iOS, its restore purchases button is required, and that's why you can see it as a separate restore purchase button, which is even provided in the canvas. If you click on the scene view and click on the canvas, you can find the restore purchase button located over here on the top right corner. So you can just drag and drop it over here first. Basically, the restore purchase button works if the player plays the game, buys the non-consumable item or the subscription item, and in case the player delete the game on the iOS device and re-download it, and if he clicks on the restore purchase button, then the non-consumable item and the subscription will get re-enabled. If the subscription is still active, the restore purchase button will going to make sure to activate it again in case the game is re-downloaded, and for the non-consumable item it will automatically going to restore the purchase, while for the consumable item it will not going to work, as especially for the consumable item you need to have a separate server side solution to basically restore the purchases for that. After this, we can add the consumable item, non-consumable item, and the subscription item. You can always add more consumable item, more non-consumable item according to your needs. For now, I will just going to remove and only going to have one consumable item, one non-consumable item, and one subscription item. After this, we can continue with the setup. Here for the consumable item, inside the canvas, you can find I have this chest of coins. Now, here you can see I have just as a draft, I enter the value 1.99, and similarly I have done it for the non-consumable, which is the no ads, as well as for the subscription where I have this VIP button on top over here. For the consumable item, we need to expand the canvas and then drag and drop this chest background, and you can see I have this chest image as well as a UI button. You can just simply drag and drop this chest button over here. For the price text, we can drag and drop this price text over here. And as in the previous part, we enabled the multi-quantity purchase for the consumable item. We need to make sure to check this checkbox over here so we can buy this consumable item multiple times. For the product ID, let's get back to the Google Play console. And here, let's copy this product ID, get 5,000 coins. Now, in the previous part, we had the same product ID for the App Store as well, and we can see over here. Let's just get back to Unity and paste the product ID over here. Now, here, once we purchase this item, we need to make sure to give the user or the player 5,000 coins in the game. Especially for this, we can simply drag and drop this shop script, which is located here on the left, and then select the function buy more coins. Now, how does this work basically? Here, any game object which contains the mono behavior script in the hierarchy can be drag and dropped over here, and using that approach, we can basically choose the function which is the public void function that is located in that mono behavior script. Here, if you select the shop script, you will going to find I have this Mobile Monetization Pro demo shop script, which if you open it up, you will going to find I have this buy more coins function, which is a public void function located in the script, which basically get the coins that exist in the games and then increase the coins by 5,000. then show it in the form of a text, and then we basically save it in the player prefs. And in the start function, we can see we have the current coins, we get the current coins, and then display it in the coins text. So basically saving, and then if the game reloads, then loading back how much coins the player have. If you go back to Unity, you can find we have actually chosen this function buy more coins, which will be executed once the purchase is successful on both the Google Play or the App Store. Similarly, we can here drag and drop the UI button for the non-consumable items. So here you can see I have this no ads button, which is located over here. And then inside the no ads button, we have the price text, which we can drag and drop it over here. Now the price text will automatically going to display the price of this non-consumable item by checking the product ID on the server. So meaning, for example, if we go back to the Google Play console, you can see the price that we have set up here is 149 INR. In your case, it could be different. While when you are going to test this IAP, it will going to display the same price in that price text. So make sure you drag and drop it over here. And after this, for the product ID, just copy this remove ads from here and then just paste it over here. Now we want to remove ads on purchase. Currently, you can see we are using the AdMob ads. Now, when using Mobile Monetization Pro, either you are using the AdMob ads, level play ads, app level ads, or any ads that is provided, it will automatically going to remove the ads on purchase of this non-consumable item. So if you check this checkbox, you can actually remove the ads from the game once the purchase is successful. For the ad script, we can use the similar approach here. We can simply drag and drop the shop script over here and then choose the function by remove ads from the game. If you open up back the shop script, you will go to find for removing the ads, I'm just using the player prefs where I'm checking if the ads is removed or not. So if the player prefs value is 0, then after making the purchase, we basically show the remove ads object in the game, which basically a pop-up that displays that the ads are currently removed from the game, and then making sure to save it using the player prefs, changing the value back to 1, and then we are also making sure to change the value for the display ads to be 0. Now, why we changing the value of the display ads to 0? Now, let me get to this point. If we now minimize the Visual Studio right now and get back to over here. Now, in case the player got the refund for the non-consumable items from the Google Play console. In this case, we can enable this checkbox called function on refund, and we can basically restart the ads if the refund is processed successfully. In this case, we will going to use another function by dragging and dropping the shop script over here and then choosing the function restart ads from the game. Now here you can definitely choose your own function, while if you go back to the Visual Studio, you will going to find that I'm restarting the ads by checking if the display ads, which previously was set it to be 0, if this value is set it to be 0, then we make sure to restart the ads object again to basically display to the users that the ads are restarting in the game, as well as we are making sure to change the display ads value back to 1, which will going to allow us to restart the ads in the game. Let's minimize the window. Now here definitely you can use your own functions if you want to, but this is how we need to set up the non-consumable item. After this, for the subscription item, we need to now drag and drop this buy VIP subscription button, which is this star that we can see over here, which contains a UI button. Just drag and drop this button over here. And for the price, we can just drag and drop the price text over here. And for the product ID, let's get back to the Google Play console, go to the subscription, and then after, we can just copy this get VIP badge. You can always click on the view subscription and then check the product ID located over here. Let's get back to Unity and paste the product ID over here. And for the script, we can drag and drop the shop script. And here we need to basically choose two functions, one for the subscription being active and one for the subscription being deactive. So for the subscription, while the subscription is activated, I will going to call activate weekly subscription. And then for the function to invoke on deactivation, we can just simply call the deactivate the weekly subscription. If you go to the Visual Studio right now, you will going to find that activate weekly subscription. Basically, I'm doing it like this. I'm just activating the VIP game object, and then we are also making sure to disable the buy VIP game object and then activating the subscription game object. Similarly, once the VIP subscription ends, then we are making sure to deactivate the VIP active button and enabling back the buy VIP button, and then the no subscription object will get activated. Now to understand all this thing, we need to now go back to the Unity, and you will going to see first, if you go to the shop script, you will going to see that we have this activated VIP button which is located over here, which basically gets activated, and this buy VIP subscription button gets deactivated. So once we have the subscription and while the subscription is active, we will be making sure to activate this button which is says the VIP active. And once the subscription is purchased, then we also make sure to activate this VIP membership game object which says your VIP membership is now activated. This will going to comes once in the game. We can by default keep it to be deactivated, and after the subscription ends, then we make sure to activate this game object. Your VIP membership is now deactivated, and we make sure to reactivate the buy VIP subscription, and then we just deactivate this badge of the VIP over here. So basically the user have to repurchase the subscription if they want it again. So once this is done, we can go back to the IAP, like the canvas, go back to the IP, and now we need to make sure to click on the button save the changes. This will going to save all of the changes that we have done over here. Here, another important thing, that if you have parameters in your functions, for example, if we go back to the Visual Studio and scroll down, here you will going to find, for the example, I created this function which is called set and buy more coins, where I'm using two parameters. Now I want to call this function and setting the parameters directly from the inspector. For this case, we can just minimize the Visual Studio, and as an example, for example, we can just here choose the function set and buy more coins. This will also going to show you the parameters that you have. For example, we have the integer parameters where we can type here 5000, as well as we can specify the game object that we want to activate it. For example, we can just go to the canvas, and as an example, we can activate this reward game object. You earned 5000 coins. Let's get back to the IAP and drag and drop this reward game object over here. Using this approach, you can have more consumable items. For example, drag and drop the script over here, choosing the function, and then provide different coins for different IAP products. While for now, I will just going to use one consumable item and remove the last one which is added, and we're going to keep the setup something like this. After this setup is completed, we are ready to test it on the real Android and the iOS device. Let's click on the save the changes. Let's go to file, save scene, save the project, click on the build profiles, and basically make sure to just go to the open scene list, uncheck this app tracking transparency scene, as this is only required for the iOS, and for the Android we can uncheck this. And after this, we can connect the Android device to the PC. Make sure to uncheck the build app bundle Google Play checkbox, connect your Android device, and then just click on the build and run. Open up the game on the Android device, and here first we can see the notifications permissions. Let's click on allow, and let's click on the consent to the GDPR, and you can see all ads are restarted. Basically, this is just the function that is basically invoked, basically tell us that the ads are currently active in the game. Now let's first buy the non-consumable item. Let's click on the buy, and you can see all ads are successfully removed from the game except the rewarded ads. Let's click on the great. After this, let's try to buy the consumable item, which is these coins. Let's click on it, and this time let's choose 5 quantities to buy this consumable item product. So we can even check the multi quantity. How does this works basically? And now you can see the message for the reward game object appears. We can click on the claim, and on top we can see we have 25,000 coins. Let's now check the subscription. Let's click on subscribe, and we can see we just got subscribed and the VIP active badge is now active. Great. So the in-app purchase on the Android device is working properly. Now let's check if the non-consumable item or the subscription get cancelled. How does it automatically calls those functions that we selected here? To check this, let's get to the Google Play console. Click on the order management here, and you will go to find the subscriptions that we just purchased for the get 5,000 coins. We can see it for the VIP as well as the remove ads. Now let's first do it for the remove ads. We can just click on it over here and then click on the refund. For the testing, it's always works. Let's just click on the refund. Now here we need to check this checkbox, remove entitlement. Basically what does it do? If you can read it over here, it removes the customer product access after the refund is issued. After the checkbox is checked, we can select the refund reason. For example, we can here just check it other reason and then basically click on the refund. Now the refund is completed for the non-consumable item. Let's test it back on the Android device. Let's open up the game again. And as you can see, after the refund is processed, all ads are restarted again in the game. Let's click on the OK. So we can clearly see the ads now. Now, to test the subscription, we need to open up the Google Play Store, go to the payments and subscription, then click on the subscription and click on the one which is currently active. And here we need to click on the cancel subscription. Let's choose decline to answer and let's click on the continue. So this basically cancel the subscription for the game that we are testing. And after this, if we just close it and now open up the game again. So now it will not going to auto renew. Currently the subscription is still active because it will going to stay active until the duration is completed. And then after you will going to receive the mail like this, which will going to say that the subscription will be cancelled. And after receiving this mail, if we open up the game again, you can see that the subscription, which is the VIP membership, is now deactivated. So the subscription cancellation is also working. So after we finished testing on the Android, now let's test it on the iOS. Click on the iOS and click on the switch platform. And after this, click on the open scene list and make sure to add your app tracking transparency scene over here. And then you can just click on the build to build it on the iOS. Now here I will have this Xcode build file. Now here it contains the Xcode project. We can open this up. Now I will going to just make sure to have the XE workspace file as well. Now in case the XE workspace file already exists in the Xcode build file, then you can open it up. To have the XE workspace file, we need to go back to the Xcode build file, right click, services, new terminal at folder, and basically we have to here write down pod installed and click enter. This will going to make sure to integrate all the necessary pods. After this, let's close it, double click to open it up again and open up the XE workspace file. And here we need to go to the Unity iPhone, select the app category to be the games, select the signing and capabilities, and you will going to find we have this in-app purchase capability already exists. Now because in the previous tutorials I have integrated the remote notifications, so here I have to just make sure to click on the capabilities and add the push notifications as well as the background modes. Now in case you are not using the remote notifications, then this step is not required for you. Just make sure to check the remote notifications, and then after we have to make sure to upload this to the test flight to test it on the iOS device. Now we will be uploading this to the test flight and we will going to use the sandbox this time to test the in-app purchase on the real iOS device. To upload it to the test flight, we can simply click on the product and then after click on the archive, So after the building is completed, we can just click on the distribute app and choose the test flight internal only here and click on the distribute. After this is done, just click on the done. And now we need to go back to the App Store Connect. And now here on the App Store Connect, we need to click on the test flight, and you will going to see this 0.3 version is still processing. Until it's processing, we can add the testers. To add the testers, just click on the plus sign here in the internal testing. Provide a group name. For example, you can type here the developers. Click on the enable automatic distribution. So whenever we upload a new version, it will be available to the new testers automatically. Let's just click on the create, and here we can click on the invite testers. You can see I have added myself as the tester, so I will just going to click on the checkbox and click on the add. Now, in case you are doing it for the first time, you can always click on the plus sign over here and then go to the users and access over here to add more tester for you. After adding the testers, you can see we currently have no builds because it's still processing. We just have to now go back to the iOS and basically reload this page. So now the version 0.3 is available. Click on the manage and choose app encryption documentation according to your app. I will going to choose none of the algorithms mentioned above and click save. And then after you can see we are ready to test. Just click on the plus sign and you will going to find in the internal groups developers. Currently you can see it's not added. This is because if we just go to the developers, you can see now the status has been changed to invited, which now allows us go back and click on the iOS, and it will basically going to refresh, and now we can see the developers added in the internal testing. So basically it just requires a refresh. After this is done, on the email that you have selected for the testers, on that email you will be receiving a message which will going to look something like this, where we need to now click on the view in test flight and copy paste the code from here to the application test flight. Now let's go to the iOS device. First, go to the App Store, and here you need to search for the test flight and click search. Here you can find this test flight app by Apple. Just download it and open it up. Just click on the profile and click on the redeem invite, and here just type the code that you received by mail and then just download this game and open it up. Now here first you will going to see the app tracking transparency pop up. Just click allow here, and then we can see the notifications permissions. Let's click allow. Let's click on the consent for the GDPR, and we can see currently all ads are active, and we can see the test ads running. Let's post this time click on the consumable item and let's click on the purchase. Great. So we can see the consumable items are now purchased. Let's now click on the non-consumable, which is the no ads. Let's click purchase, and you can see that the all ads completely removed from the game. And this time let's click on the VIP button on top and let's click on the subscribe. Great. So the VIP badge is now active. So the in-app purchase is also working on the iOS device as well. Now this time let's test the restore purchases. Let's first close the game, and now let's delete it. Open back the test flight and reinstall it and open it again. And this time first we can see the app tracking transparency pop up, then the notifications, and then the GDPR consent. Let's first click on the restore purchase to see how the restore purchase basically works. Let's click on it, and you can see that the all ads are removed. We can see the message as well as the VIP membership is activated back. So this is how basically you can use the restore purchases button. Great. So we successfully tested the in-app purchase on the iOS device. Now, to test the in-app purchase using the sandbox environment, we need to first go back to the App Store Connect, and here under the users and access, click on the sandbox and the test accounts. And here you will going to find I have already added the sandbox Apple ID here, which I created by clicking on the plus sign over here, and you can fill up the information over here. Now this can be any email ID. For example, here you can see I have added this email ID sora1570 at the rate tester.com, and you can create your own password for this sandbox. And after doing this thing, we need to go back to the iOS device, open up the settings, and here make sure you sign out of your Apple ID. You can see I have already signed out. After this, go to the App Store in the settings. You can find it over here, and then sign in with your sandbox account here. As you can see, I have already signed in. After this, we need to go back to the game and delete the game, open up the test flight again, and sign in with your original Apple ID. And once signed in, you can re-download the game. And now if you go back to the settings, you have to sign out again. And then after open up the game, this is the app tracking transparency pop-up. And let's click on the consent, okay. And now if you click on the consumable item, you have to sign in with your sandbox email ID and the password. Just write down your sandbox email ID and password over here. And after entering it, if you click on it again, you will going to see the sandbox email ID in the in-app purchase as the account. Let's click on it, and you can see we have already purchased this item, so it will going to give us the 5,000 coins. So this is the way you can test the other non-consumable and the subscription items as well. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.